The House will come to order. Members, today the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Kara Reese and Livia McDermott from Cherry Hills Christian School, Highlands Ranch.
Please join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schiebel, please call the roll.
Representatives Amabile, Armagost, Bacon, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Basenecker, Bottoms, Bradfield, Bradley, Brown, Catlin, Clifford, Doherty, DeGraff, Representative DeGraff,
Excused.
Degree Kennedy, Duran, English, Epps,
Here.
Evans, Frizzell, Froelich, Garcia, Rep. Garcia,
Excused.
Hamrick, Hartsook, Hernandez, Herod, Holtorf, Judah, Joseph, Kip, Leader, Lindsay, Linstead, Luck,
Here.
Lukens, Lynch, Mabry, Representative Mabry,
Excused.
Marshall, Martinez, Marvin, Morrow, McCormick, McLaughlin,
Present.
Ortiz, Parenti, Rep. Parenti, Puglisi, Ricks, Rutanel, Sirota, Snyder, Soper, Rep. Soper,
Excused.
Story, Taggart, Tatone, Valdez A, Velasco, Rep. Velasco, Vigil, Weinberg, Weissman, Wilford is excused, Wilson, Winter, Woodrow, Young, and Madam Speaker.
Members, with 63 present, 2 excused, we do have a quorum. Representative Vigil.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And friends, I don't have good jokes or snide remarks or pranks for this year's Moving of the Journal. I did want to take advantage of the moment to share some local history of my beautiful city, Colorado Springs, because I did a big deep dive last year into our local history. So I wanted to share with you all that the foothills of Tava, the Sun Mountain, which is the original name of the mountain we now call Pikes Peak, was for 3,500 years a gathering place and a space of seasonal transition and annual rituals for the Ute tribes, as well as Arapaho, Cheyenne, and others. And they would gather there to process meat and hides after a hunt, and it goes back many centuries, and I'm very privileged to get to live there. And with that, Madam Speaker, I move that the Journal of Friday, February 2nd, 2024 be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Thank you for the lesson. Members, you've heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the chief clerk. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The motion is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over House Bill 1017 and House Bill 1007 until tomorrow.
Members, we are on third reading. Seeing no objection, House Bill 1017 and 1007 will be laid over. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1086.
House Bill 1086 by Representatives Holtorf and Amabile, also Senator Michaelson Janae, concerning the operation of the Denver Health and Hospital Authority.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1086 on third reading and final passage.
The motion, Representative DeGraff. Representative Holtorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I know that some of my colleagues are going to come forth here and talk about why this bill isn't absolutely necessary at this time. But I will tell you, and that this bill at this time is absolutely necessary because Denver Health is the backstop, is the full backstop for health care in the Denver metro area and also supports rural Colorado. I'm not going to repeat what I said in my personal story, but I'm walking today because of the professionals in Denver Health. Arguably, they are the backstop. They cannot not get the support they need and have the current and continue the relationships they have with HCPF. So I encourage everyone to consider the importance of this institution to this state, arguably one of the oldest medical practicing hospitals in the state of Colorado, and their historical legacy. So as my colleagues come up, and it is their right, I encourage you to consider the importance of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Not saying it's not that Denver Health isn't the backstop, not saying that Denver Health doesn't need the money, but this is putting sanctuary city policies on the back of Coloradans. Our medical facilities, our infrastructure, they're all being overwhelmed. They're being overwhelmed by forces that are beyond the scope of the Colorado citizen, but this bill is going to be put on the back of the Colorado citizen. And one of the things I think is interesting is that the way that we're going to reduce the amount of unfunded or is by telling Denver Health that they have to charge less money. So instead of they have to charge less for services based on what the government says that they can charge. So we say, well, if they charge $10 for a service, well, and that's not reimbursed, that'd be a $10 non-reimbursement. But then if you say, well, you can only charge $5 for it, then it's only a $5 non-reimbursement. It's the same service. Only you're compelling somebody to do it. Somebody is being forced to solve this problem on their own instead of having the relief of the legislation, the legislative body, to actually do the right thing. So this bill is just kicking the can down the road. And the way it's kicking the can down the road, it's to evade responsibility, it's to take some time out, to duck away from the policies that are crushing our social systems. So I don't know how you make somebody right by just telling them that they can charge less for the same service. when they're already overwhelmed. Yeah, Denver Metro needs help. Our medical facilities need help. Taking the problem and spreading it around Colorado doesn't help. There's lots of things that we can do to actually solve the problem. This isn't one. This looks mostly to be election year dodging. I vote no.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1086 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Luck, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Luck votes no. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Please close the machine. With 55 aye, 9 no, 1 excused, House Bill 1086 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Representative Epps, co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1091.
House Bill 1091 by Representatives Brown and Titone, also Senators Cutter and Hawkes Lewis, concerning prohibiting restrictions on the use of fire-hardened building materials in residential real property.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1091 on third reading, final passage.
Members, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1091. Representative DeGraff.
Another example of government overreach. Covenants needing 2/3. That's you with a good idea having to convince one of your neighbors that it's a good idea. This is making the assumption that homeowners associations that are put together to represent the homeowners, elected by the homeowners, need the state to step in. This is a form of local government. And the state does not need to be stepping into this. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea, but you're creating a big precedent. You're creating a big precedent where big state needs to come in and solve all the little problems. Every last one of them. What are the materials that we're talking about? We don't know. What are the standards? We don't know. Why are the homeowners associations opposed? Are they opposed? Do we even know that they are opposed? We don't know. We're just making the carte blanche assumption that the homeowners association is going to be acting against their own interest, and therefore the state needs to step in for the greater good. One thing we know from history, if we ever learn from history, is that for the greater good never is. I would ask you to start learning how to trust the people of Colorado, maybe allow them to make some mistakes, because we have lots of homeowners associations, and if one makes a mistake, another will compensate for it, and then the other ones can learn. When you centralize this control, when you centralize all control at the state level, one mistake, one error pervades throughout. The corruption pervades throughout. Trust the people of Colorado. They can live their own lives. They don't need the nanny state in every aspect of their business.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1091 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Luck, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Luck votes no. Please close the machine. With 49 aye, 15 no, and 1 excused, House Bill 1091 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1016.
House Bill 1016 by Representatives Leader and Armagost, also Senators Kolker and Van Winkle, concerning emergency communication services and in connection therewith, defining the term emergency communication specialist and clarifying the scope of the currently authorized use of certain emergency telecommunication service charge revenue for training and services rendered by an emergency communication specialist and other public safety answering point personnel and other essential personnel.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1016 on third reading, final passage.
Seeing no Representative Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just real quick, a recap from Friday when you heard how important that this bill was. We just want to give these professionals the recognition that they deserve. They are the first voice that the public hears in the case of emergencies and are vital to serving our other first responders, such as law enforcement, fire, and medical personnel. Under this bill, the 911 professionals will be recognized as the highly qualified, skilled first responders that they are. It's a good bill. Vote yes and co-sponsor.
Representative Armagost? No. Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1016 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Luck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Luck votes yes. Madam Majority Leader, Representative Judah. Please close the machine. With 64 ayes, 0 no, and 1 excused, House Bill 1016 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Representatives Epps and McLaughlin co-sponsor. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1058.
House Bill 1058 by Representatives Kipp and Soper, also Senators Baisley and Priola, concerning protecting the privacy of individuals' biological data and in connection therewith, protecting the privacy of neural data and expanding the scope of the Colorado Privacy Act accordingly.
Members, we will stand in a brief recess. The House will come back to order. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over House Bill 24-1058 until tomorrow.
Seeing no objection, House Bill 1058 will be laid over until tomorrow. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1146.
House Bill 1146 by Representatives Byrd and Taggart, also Senators Bridges and Zenzinger, concerning authorizing the Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing to suspend a provider's enrollment if the provider is participating in an organized fraud scheme.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1146 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1146 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative Luck, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Luck votes no. Representative Soper, thank you. Please close the machine. With 60 aye, 4 no, and 1 excused, House Bill 1146 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1011, 1081, 1042, 1060, 1062 be made special orders on Monday, February 5th, 2024 at 10:55 a.m.
Seeing no objection, the bills listed by the Majority Leader will be made special orders today, Monday, February 5th at 10:55 a.m. Representative Martinez. Members, you have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, Representative Martinez will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request for reading a bill at length. Committee reports are printed and in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads. Bills will be laid over upon the motion of the Majority Leader. And the coat roll is definitely relaxed.
Get excited.
Mr. Schiebel, will you please read the title of House Bill 24-1011?
House Bill 1011 by Representatives Brown and Amabile, also Senator Cutter, concerning mortgage servicers and in connection therewith, requiring mortgage servicers to take certain actions regarding the disbursement of insurance proceeds to borrowers.
Representative Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1011 and the committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. During committee, we passed a significant amendment that included some important changes to make sure that there are different rules for loans that aren't insured by the federal government. It also provides additional flexibility for homeowners working with mortgage servicers on subsequent disbursements of insurance monies. It also allows banks and mortgage companies to disperse funds that exceed the minimum requirements in the bill. We'd ask for an aye vote on the committee report.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. The committee report is adopted. To the bill. Representative Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Amendment L003
That is a
and ask that
proper,
it be properly displayed.
that is a proper motion. Give us 1 second. L003 is displayed. Representative Brown.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. This amendment makes a very small change. It adds one word that was inadvertently omitted from the drafting of the bill to make sure that both the repair plans as well as the rebuild plans are written down. And we'd ask for an aye vote on this amendment.
The question before us is the adoption of Amendment L003. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Amendment L003. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Amendment L003 is adopted. Representative Amable.
We're to the bill, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to just say thank you to my co-prime sponsor, Rep. Brown, who did a lot of work on this bill. One of the things that we saw as a result of the Marshall Fire and also the East Troublesome Fire is just cascading difficulties for homeowners as they try to recover from one of the most traumatic things that many of them will face in their life. So first, your house burns down and you lose all of your earthly possessions and your sense of security and your community. Then you have to do battle with your insurance company. And many people were underinsured. They don't want to pay out in a timely fashion. They don't want to cover you for your alternative living expenses. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't know how you're going to pay all these bills. And then you get through with your insurance company, and they send you a check. And the check, you have to send that check to your mortgage company. And then your mortgage company holds on to the money. And you don't know what the rules are. And they don't seem to know what the rules are either. So you're stuck. You can't pay your contractor because your mortgage company is holding on to your insurance proceeds. And that's the final assault for a lot of people. So this bill seeks to set rules so that you know what to expect, to make a plan ahead of time so that that plan can be followed in the event of a disaster. And a lot of people will benefit from this going forward. I ask for a yes vote.
Representative Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I want to thank my colleague from Boulder County for her leadership on these issues and for her work on this bill. She's an amazing teammate, and I can't imagine a better co-prime sponsor. I just want to say, so as my colleague said, we've been hearing about the struggles that homeowners have been facing in working with their mortgage companies for over a year. We've held town halls to listen to their stories, and we have developed this bill that's based on not only the experiences of our community, but also on best practices from the industry. It's rooted in guidance from Fannie Mae, which is one of the nation's largest providers of mortgage financing. The bill briefly requires mortgage companies to disclose the specific conditions under which the company will disperse insurance proceeds after a home is destroyed. It requires the development of a repair or rebuild plan according to which the proceeds will be dispersed. It guarantees that a mortgage company cannot hold more money than the borrower owes on their mortgage, and it guarantees that at least a third of the mortgage proceeds must be given out to the borrower within 14 days of receipt by the mortgage company. It makes sure that the insurance proceeds are held in an interest-bearing account and that interest is credited to the borrower, and it requires that the company provide at least a primary point of contact and retain communications for at least 4 years. We heard a ton of people who had really difficulties even just getting someone on the phone to talk with. This is an incredibly difficult situation that many folks were frustrated by. You know, our community has really been through a lot in this journey, and at every step there have been barriers to overcome. And this mortgage servicer barrier, I would call it, was not something that anybody anticipated. But we now have this, with the passage of this bill, we'll be able to put our best foot forward and make sure that there are clear rules that allow for people to work with their mortgage companies, that everybody knows when things will happen and how, and I ask for an aye vote on this bill.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 24-1011? Representative Armagost.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We heard this in Business Committee, and going into it, had zero knowledge of what we were actually looking at. Hearing the testimony of people, understanding that this is something that nobody really knew was happening, and these people that were affected by the Marshall Fire were getting kicked while they were down, essentially, with their mortgage lenders basically holding their money and giving it to them as they saw fit, where the person needing the money to pay the contractors, subcontractors, whatever, didn't know if they were going to get the amount that they needed to cover repairs, rebuilds, and all that. It's basically a horrible thing I don't think anyone in here would want to be subjected to. I think this is a good bill to fix that problem throughout the state, and so that this doesn't happen again in the future. So I am in support and encourage a yes vote.
Representative Frizzell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is an honor to serve with you.
And an honor to serve with you.
Thank you. Members, I rise in support of this bill. Like my colleague, we heard this bill in committee, in the Business Committee, and it was, the testimony was very, very moving. We got to hear from citizens who have had to navigate an extraordinarily difficult situation while the goalposts just kept moving on them. They would think that they had made it through the insurance process, and then they were left to find that when the insurance company wrote their check, it wrote it to them and their mortgage company, because the mortgage company is a lien holder. And the mortgage company would retain all of the funds in excess of what that property owner owed. Further, and this was extraordinary to me as well, is that the insurance company is holding on to these funds for a long time, making interest on the funds that they really weren't entitled to, and not returning any of those funds to the property owner. These were excess funds in excess of what the mortgage was. The mortgage companies benefited by holding this money, and that's not okay. So again, I stand in support of this bill and urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 24-1011? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 24-1011 as amended. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. House Bill 24-1011 is passed. Mr. Schiebel, will you please read the title of House Bill 24-1081?
House Bill 1081 by Representatives Mobley and Catlin, also Senators Roberts and Pelton B., concerning regulation on the sale of sodium nitrate.
Representative Amable.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1081.
To the bill. Representative Mobley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this bill came to myself and to my co-prime from our constituents. And it is about the presence on the internet of chat groups that encourage people to complete suicide. And one of the things that they do in these groups is they tell you you can buy a product called sodium nitrite, and that you take that and you will die. And so people are pointed to where they can purchase it. They do purchase it, and then they do in fact die. And it happened to a constituent of mine in Clear Creek County. His son purchased these products and took them and died pretty much instantly. And it also happened to my co-prime, to one of his constituents, and I'll let him talk about that. But what we settled on in terms of how to address this problem is to regulate the sale of this product, because it does have a legitimate business purpose. It is used to cure meat and fish, but not in the concentrations that it's sold online. It is used for that purpose in a much lower concentration. And so the bill has a very simple premise. It just says, if you don't have a legitimate business purpose to purchase these products, you can't get them. And anytime they sell them, they have to label them as a dangerous poison that will kill you if you ingest it. And I ask for a yes vote.
Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's an honor to serve with you.
And it's an honor to serve with you.
Thank you. Members, this is a bill that in the middle of the summer, I know right where I was at. A guy called me and said, there's a product that you can buy on the internet that you can complete suicide. I said, okay, tell me about it. He said a friend of his child here in the Front Range had completed suicide with this product. You know, I had really never heard of sodium nitrite. So, you know, as we typically do, I said, okay, well, we'll look into it. We'll see what we can do. Within about 2 weeks, my co-prime called and asked me, do you know anything about sodium nitrite? And I pulled off the road so I could talk on the phone and said, yeah, I don't know much, but a guy called me about it 2 weeks ago. So she tells me about constituents of hers that have had the same problem. Well, after you start looking into it, you find that there are sites on the internet that if you're having suicidal thoughts, they will point you right in the direction of purchasing sodium nitrite at 100% or right at around 100% pure. These are nothing but suicide kits. TikTok and all of those places are advising people to go here. Well, after you find out about sodium nitrite, it's one of those products that we use to cure bacon, ham, fish, those types of products. But it's not done with such pure product. That's always cut down to less than 10% so that you can make pickles with it. You can dry your own meat and those kind of things. So what this bill is going to do is simply say, the sellers need to do diligence to assure that the buyer is legitimate and not buying to make these types of suicide kits. And the makers and the sellers are going to be required to put a large label on that says this is poison. If it's ingested, this is poison. And also list the antidote, which is, by the way, something that none of the emergency EMTs or any of those people don't carry this product, and you usually can't find it in a hospital because this thing has just started in. And what we're trying to do is to get in front of it before it becomes the rage, and I'm sorry to say that. But after listening to the testimony of parents that have lost their children, this is one of the things I think we need to do. And I don't think I'll forget the testimony that was given in our committee that day. It was shocking. It was heart-wrenching. We're not going to bring them back but we may save one or two here in the state of Colorado. You've heard me say before, this is a good bill. Well, this is a good bill. Vote yes.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 24-1081? Representative Armagost.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I heard this bill in committee as well. I have had feedback from a lot of constituents that were concerned that this was a form of government overreach or otherwise banning things that should be available to people, and why punish everyone for acts of a few. This isn't something that there's a common misunderstanding, I think, that should be clarified. The higher content that this bill will regulate is something that the mass producers use. This isn't something that you get on a personal production level. If you're making this stuff at home, the stuff that you're getting is the lower concentrate, and to my knowledge, that's not what this bill affects whatsoever. So this isn't going to affect individuals, citizens that are doing this at home. This is going to affect the mass producers. They aren't even getting affected because it's going to regulate it so that only they can purchase it. I think the biggest thing is on the lower concentrate stuff, you get a bag of it at a sporting goods store, order it online. You'd have to eat an entire bag of it to be able to harm yourself. Whereas the concentrated stuff, it takes a spoonful to end your life. So this is a very dangerous thing. This is something we definitely, I agree with the sponsors of this bill, you need to get in front of. This is a good bill. I can't tell you, like my colleague said, the testimony that was in there that day, there wasn't a dry eye in the room, and I don't think anyone else wants to have to live through that, or losing a family member to something so simple that we can prevent. We do it for products that people can make methamphetamine from. We regulate those. Nobody needs to go buy 20 boxes of Sudafed. It's just one of those things where I think regulation can help save lives and make it easier for everyone here in Colorado. Good bill, vote yes.
Representative Frizzell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also want to rise in support of this bill. We did hear this in our business committee, and the testimony will stay with me for the rest of my life. People who put together these suicide kits and counsel, because you can contact someone online and be counseled and also sold by the same person this substance. The self-serving nature of that is mind-boggling to me and difficult to understand. But what was especially troubling to me is how quickly this works. Because if you change your mind, if you have a change of heart, it's too late. There's nothing virtually that can be done. One of the gentlemen who testified had his son, the ambulance arrived, and he died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. They had no antidote. And probably if he had made it to the hospital, it wouldn't have made any difference because they don't carry the antidote either. There is no reason for this substance to exist in this concentrate, none whatsoever. And in today's day and age, with our impressionable youth who are so drawn to social media and the internet, this is something we need to shut down, and we should do it here in Colorado. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 2014-81? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 24-1081. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. House Bill 24-1081 is passed. Mr. Sheba, will you please read the title of House Bill 24-1042?
House Bill 1042 by Representatives Snyder and Taggart, also Senators Colquitt and Van Winkle, concerning technical corrections to the statutes that govern fire and police pensions.
Representative Snyder. Representative Snyder.
Thank you. And let me say what an honor it is to serve with you, Chair.
It is an honor to serve with you.
I was just giving time for Representative Taggart to get down here. Thank you. And with that, I will move House Bill 1042 and the Finance Committee report.
To the committee report. Representative Snyder.
Okay, so this is really a technical cleanup bill, and more specifically, we passed 2 amendments in Finance Committee. They were technical cleanups to a technical cleanup bill. There were 2 incorrect references. There were still references to a defined benefit plan. Those needed to be removed and changed. Those are the amendments, and that's what we did in the Finance Committee.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The committee report passes. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Representative Taggart.
As my colleague and co-prime just spoke of, this is, in fact, technical changes where 3 distinct components of retirement for the FPPA were brought into one retirement plan, a much more simple approach for those valued individuals that serve our public so very well. And this just cleans up some mistakes that were made for HB 22-1034. And I'm happy to support it and hope you will vote yes.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1042? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1042. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. House Bill 1042 passes. Mr. Schiebel, will you please read the title of House Bill 1060?
House Bill 1060 by Representative Snyder, also Senator Roberts, concerning implementing provisions of the Travel Insurance Model Act.
Representative Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1060 and the Business Affairs and Labor Committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you. So in the Business Affairs and Labor Committee, we did have one small amendment with 2 small changes, just making it uniform, just defining who may offer travel plans, and change it to travel plans may be offered. I'm not exactly sure why we needed to change it that way, but we did, and other minor little things. So with that, that was the only amendment, and I would ask for your support on the Business Affairs and Labor Committee report.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the committee report. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So folks, this really just brings Colorado in line with 35 other states by passing the Travel Insurance Model Act. So in the 2018 conference of the NAIC, our Colorado delegation voted unanimously to support the Model Act. We're bringing it here this year. And so this is really full of consumer protections. If you've ever been in the travel insurance market, it can be a little confusing and daunting with so many clauses and exceptions. This will really make it a uniform system so that when you buy travel insurance that's been approved by the Division of Insurance, you can rest assured that it will have proper provisions in there. There are even travel insurance plans now that when you look at all the contrasting language, could never be paid off on. That's a fraud. We're eliminating all of those bad practices with this bill. I think it'll be good for consumers, good for the industry, and I ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1060? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1060. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. House Bill 1060 passes. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title for House Bill 1062.
House Bill 1062 by Representatives Evans and Titone, also Senator Priola, concerning administrative inspection warrants for a Metropolitan Sewage Disposal District.
Representative Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 241062.
To the bill.
Thank you. So, colleagues, this is a very simple bill. It deals with metro wastewater districts. And so a metro wastewater district is composed of many local jurisdictions, cities, counties, things like that. And so the issue that's emerged is when all of these cities and counties and their sewage streams all funnel into the Metro Wastewater District, if that Metro Wastewater District is detecting heavy contaminants in that wastewater stream that shouldn't be there, that are required to be filtered out via current federal law. Right now, the process by which that Metro Wastewater District can go and try to identify the source of those contaminants that shouldn't be in the wastewater stream, it's a very long, convoluted process. And so all this bill does is it seeks to refine that process, make it happen a little bit faster by allowing the Metro Wastewater District to go and seek an administrative warrant from the county in which that suspected violation is occurring. So they still have to go, they still have to talk to a judge, they still have to try to, to present everything that you would have to get a search warrant, and that is only occurring if they can't voluntarily, work with wherever they think the source of this contaminant is coming from. So it streamlines the process. It actually saves local governments a little bit of money because it's not requiring them to duplicate the work that the Metro District has already done. That's the current process. And ultimately, it protects all of the machinery and the environment that's busy treating our wastewater streams by ensuring that anybody that might be using some of these heavy chemicals, they're already required under federal law to have what's called a pre-filtration program. It just ensures that we can identify and resolve these failures faster when those contaminants are detected in the wastewater stream.
Representative Tatone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So yeah, this is a really, it's a good bill for everyone. There's a lot of municipalities that come into Metro Water Recovery with their waste streams. And when waste comes into the facility that they do not anticipate coming in, it could really cause a lot of issues with their systems to get the contamination out. And making sure that we get those contaminations that are coming into the waste stream upstream and eliminate that as fast as we can through finding out where it's coming from and getting that inspection done. This is really going to help save them a lot of money. It's going to save customers a lot of money in the long run, and it's good for the environment. So I ask for a yes vote on the bill.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1062. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. House Bill 1062 passes. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
You have heard the motion. The committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Representative Lukens. Excellent. Members, you have heard the motion. There are no amendments, but Mr. Schiebel does have to read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your Committee of the Whole begs leave to report it is under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof and making the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1011 as amended, 1042 as amended, 1060 as amended, 1062, 1081 passed on second reading, ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Excellent. Members, the question before the House is the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representative Epps, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Epps votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Luck, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Luck votes no. Representatives DeGraff and Hamrick. Representative Hamrick is excused, and that will be a $5 fine. Please close the machine. With 46 ayes, 17 no, and 2 excused, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Announcements or introductions, members? Representative Woodrow.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, it is Monday, which means at 1:30, House, State, Civic, Military, and Veterans Affairs will be meeting in LSBA to hear 2 bills. We're going to hear them out of order. We will start with 24-1067 and then hear 1026. See you then.
Thank you. Representative Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, everyone, for the wonderful vote. I would like to recognize all of the first responders up here in the gallery. If you guys will please stand and be recognized. My 911 dispatchers, thank you.
I have an announcement. Representative Valdez will serve for Representative Parenti on State Affairs, State, Civic, Military, and Veterans Affairs for today only. Representative McCormick and just you, Representative McCormick.
Thank you. We were just having a little, sign language. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, Agriculture, Water, and Natural Resources will be meeting in room 107 at 1:30 to hear 2 fantastic bills, 1047 and 1048. We'll see you there.
Thank you. Representatives Winter and Holtorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would just like to announce that the Colorado Independent Cattle Growers Association, they invite you all to lunch at the State Service Building, room 603, February 7th, 2024, from 12 to 2. Please come and visit them. Those are the ones that feed you all, so stop by and say hello. Thank you.
Representative Holtorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On the flyer that was handed out here on Friday, many of you got those. I just wanted to point out that the RSVP address is pistolbonds@live.com, PISTOLBONDS. I apologize for the misspelled word. There's an extra L in that email, so please take that out. Pistol, as in the Wild West, pistol. Thank you. So, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Holtorf. Representative Sirota?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, House Appropriations will meet tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. in the Old State Library to hear all of the bills listed in your calendar, which are House Bills 1180 through 1215. See you there.
Thank you. Representative Bradfield.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to invite you all to the
Capitol, the Legislator Bible Study, tomorrow starting at 7:15 in room 109 downstairs. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Snyder.
Thank you. Just a reminder, House Finance will be meeting today at 1:30 down in 112 to hear House Bills 1119, 1044, 1027, and 1179. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Story.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just wanted to announce that the Capital Development Committee will not be meeting tomorrow, Tuesday. Thanks.
Thank you. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar until Tuesday, February 6th, 2024.
Seeing no objection, the balance of the calendar will be laid over until Tuesday, February 6, 2024. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move the House stand in recess until later today.
Seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until later today.